Ladies and gentlemen, right now, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. And as such, I want to talk about one of my favorite movies, the original Pirates of the Caribbean. I've talked about this a few different times. I like the second half of the second movie, and the third movie left me intensely disappointed. On Stranger Tides is one of my picks for worst films ever. I despise that film, but the original is easily in my top 5 favorite films. And Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp's portrayal of him, Johnny Depp, one of my top 5 favorite actors. Not even for, putting Amber Heard in her place a couple of years back. I can't believe that's a couple of years back at this point in time, but here we are. His seminal role, I understand that the guy's had he's had like a 40+ year movie career. He's been around for a minute, but arguably his most famous role is Captain Jack Sparrow. When we see idiotic headlines like this run around Pirates of the Caribbean, does the franchise really need Johnny Depp? Well, there's a reason that they haven't, with a couple of different failed attempts that, Disney is looking into a sponsorship from Planned Parenthood from the amount of aborted ideas that they've had to try to continue the franchise without Johnny Depp. It kind of tells you that Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp specifically, because they could recast Jack Sparrow, it just wouldn't be Jack Sparrow. It wouldn't be nearly the draw that it is. Hence why they haven't continued the franchise, and we're at a point in time with Disney where they're fresh out of new ideas. All they're doing is sequels, remakes, reboots. If they could do anything with Pirates of the Caribbean, hell, what, 4 of those, or 3 or 4 of those films? I think it's 3. I think it's the middle 3, the bad 3. I like Dead Man's Chest, okay? I walk that back a little bit. The middle 2.5 movies that are objectively bad, made over $1 billion, and Disney at this point in time, you're telling me if they couldn't make it work without Johnny Depp, they would have done it by now. But even they know that, yeah, we kind of need this to work, okay? Well, let's see the cope. Pirates of the Caribbean films began with Curse of the Black Pearl in 2003. It's 21 years old, man. It's still great. Over the next 14 years, Disney would go on to produce 4 more films in the franchise. As of 2017, the film franchise did not seem to be slowing down at all. Now, with fans still watching the sequels, with diminishing returns. I think the 5th didn't make $1 billion, or it got real close. It did. It ended up, regardless, getting sidelined. 2018, plans for a 6th film were underway. Johnny Depp's ex-wife, Amber Heard, lied to the Washington Post. It's been proven in court. Hey, man, it's in writing. That's not my opinion. That's just fact at this point. Disney parted ways with Depp and he was removed as Captain Jack Sparrow, his infamous and Oscar-nominated character. Yeah, I think he got an Oscar nod for the first one, which I'd have to take a look at the competition, but I think very much deserved it. It's a great film. If you haven't watched it in a while, just go back and watch it. It's terrific. Jack Sparrow's infamous, Oscar-nominated character, Pirates of the Caribbean. Whether you agree with Depp or Heard, well, I agree with the facts, so I'm on the side of Johnny Depp, where Depp sued Heard and won. It's clear that the films so far in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise built upon his character. Nevertheless, Disney, it seems, is cementing their stance on continuing the series of films with other characters taking on major roles. And I talked about this a few years back, or not few years back, sorry. Well, obviously I was still talking about this a few years back, but a couple of weeks ago when this whole Io Itabiri, whatever, from Da Bear, I have no idea what this is, okay, but somebody else who was attached to The Bear just got another job work, I think at the MCU level or something like that, or no, it was script editor for something. It had been an MCU project, but regardless, this little project is now the breeding ground for all the quote-unquote talent that certain studios are trying to poach. So, okay. But yes, the latest report suggests that the Bear star Io Itabiri could be portraying the famous female pirate Anne Bonny. Fantastic, because when Pirates of the Caribbean was being created, Johnny Depp looked through the annals of history and decided to adapt famous male pirate Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh wait, that didn't exist. He came up with the character off the top of his head, and the character that he created himself launched a franchise, a multi-billion-dollar franchise. So once again, just showing that Disney, devoid of ideas. But this is just simply a rumor that's out there. And then after those initial reports, didn't really hear much afterwards. On the other hand, fans of the franchise love Depp as Jack and will likely boycott Pirates of the Caribbean films that do not have him in them. So I guess when Disney seen the response to this, because I would imagine that they probably leaked that information out there. Listen, we want to stick a chick in it and make her lame and gay. It's just, what's going to be the response out there? And it was an overwhelming no Johnny, no pirates, no Captain Jack. take your pirate film and call it something else. So they're trying to see how much they can get away with it, because now new rumors of Pirates of the Caribbean 6 are being floated, and Johnny Depp he's apparently been worked into it. I understand that he has issues with the studio, okay, famously outside of the defamation trial. I wouldn't go back to Disney for $300 million or 1,000 alpacas. But A, time heals all wounds, and B, Disney's desperate, and that $300 million and 1,000 alpacas, it seems like it could be on the table if they can just go ahead and sniff $1 billion film over the course of 2 years, because they ain't making anything this year. God damn it. And next year doesn't look a hell of a lot better, if we're going to be completely honest. In 2023, Guardians was the closest for them, and it still came up $200 million short. So they want to make a big splash. Yeah, perhaps bringing Johnny back as a good send-off for the character for Pirates 6. It's a good idea. That's not what they're going to do. This is Disney, after all. Johnny Depp is returning, but for a supporting role. Yeah, they're going to have him pass the mantle as a captain of the Black Pearl. Is that what we're working on here? Disappointed fans react. Disney is using him to sell tickets. Well, yeah, that's what Disney does. Who thought Johnny Depp starring in Pirates of the Caribbean 6 would turn into a dream Sunday? Fans are desperate to see him reprise his leading character as Captain Jack Sparrow. I don't know, maybe to just give him a proper send-off, but I don't really know if I'm sure there's probably some freaks that are out there. I'm just saying, as somebody who is and has watched, the series ad nauseum, and I do have some controversial opinions on it. I understand that. I don't necessarily know if I'm pining for that. They probably could have just finished the story with the trilogy, saved the world from that abysmal on Stranger Tides. Anyways, as most know, Johnny Depp was ousted from multiple Hollywood projects, but now, is he still a part of Beetlejuice too? Anyways, he's making a slow comeback if he wants to. Disney has been working on several ideas for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Forward, yes, a spin-off starring Margot Robbie was announced, but later shelved because, yeah, for as much as the industry really likes Margot Robbie, spoilers, she's not a leading lady. Barbie succeeded because it was Barbie. How many people talk about that film and really reference Margot Robbie? Kind of seems like Ken gets all the spotlight in the Barbie movie. Very strange situation. As per the Hollywood Handle via Daniel Richman on Twitter, Disney is now considering casting Johnny Depp in Pirates 6, while most would be elated to hear that, it's an unexpected twist, the superstar will reportedly be seen in a supporting role. Yeah, I don't really know if Johnny wants to return to do that, unless, of course, the payday is too lucrative to pass up. When a user reacted, Johnny Depp would never take it, not after how they treated him during the trials. Yeah, exactly, supporting role? Nah, it's Jack Sparrow. It's why people watch the movies. I don't see him accepting unless Disney pays through the nose. I'm considering not going if he's not the star. How about that, Disney? Oh yeah, exactly. That's the general tone and tenor of all that stuff. And it's not like he's really hard up for the money, because if you remember, back in 2022, June 1st, 2022 is when the verdict was handed down. That he eventually worked out with Heard for just, simply, we'll just both go our separate ways. I can continue to call you a verifiable liar, and you don't have to pay the enormous bill that was due at the end of this. Copacetic, because Johnny, he can still go tour with the Hollywood Vampires in a sweet band with Joe Perry and with the inimitable Alice Cooper, who's also based as hell. Hopefully some of that, just trickles over to Johnny Depp, because he said some sketchy things about, very prominent politicians that are very likely to become the next president of the United States in the past, but that's all right. I don't look to political airings from Hollywood actors as much as I like their performances. Like, he can go do that, or he can take some indie roles. Like, he was in a movie that premiered at Cannes or Sundance or something like that, one of those artsy fartsy festivals, and he was given a standing ovation by all of those fart huffing sycophants in the room that were more than willing to cancel him back in 2018, but now all of a sudden, oh, welcome back, Johnny. See, your adulation would mean more if you stood up with a guy at the time, but then if also you didn't extend that same olive branch to the likes of Roman Polanski after he did what he did, you bunch of freaks. Yeah, man, I do echo these exact same sentiments, because Johnny Depp, we were robbed of 6 Going on 7 great years of immaculate performances from one of the best actors in the entire business, all because of some lion broad made up a bunch of fantastical stories. And I'm not talking about those Fantastic Beast films, because there's nothing fantastical about them. And as a make good, Disney's trying to make him a passenger in the vehicles that he crafted to be a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Yeah, I don't really think that holds water, and I think this will be just another in the long line of failed and aborted Pirates of the Caribbean ideas. Put Johnny in 6th, give him the proper send-off. You can set somebody up, he can have an apprentice. There's stories that you can tell right there, but to immediately shelve him is not going to fly. Do I think that it's incorrect? I think that Disney's delusional enough. If you take a look at their output recently, I think that it's very likely that that's the idea that they want to go with, but I think Johnny has a little bit too much respect for the character that he crafted and so glowingly praised during the defamation trial in 2022 to let him simply be led around by the nose by a strong and empowered black pirate. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I'm Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.